Hey guys, it's Jeremy from 70 Productions, and I want to talk to you guys about the social media win without using metrics. So I just got done with our youth ministry conference with Youth for Christ, where 750 people across the world came to Chicago, got to experience each other together, live life together, renew passions for doing youth ministry. It was an amazing experience. And I was in charge of the social media and blogging stuff, all the online marketing, where I got to promote our new rebranding. We have a new look with Youth for Christ. I got to talk about just what's happening at the conference, share with those people that across the world couldn't experience the conference, and just to be a lot of different investments in sharing the story for people when they go home. They can relive what was going on, try to integrate some of the stuff that they learned back in their ministry at home. It was a great experience. I loved everything about it. But there was something interesting while I was there that I learned, and I want to share with you just the idea of being able to have social media when it's beyond metrics. Now let me preface all of what I'm about ready to say with saying that in the general fact, if you're not using metrics, analytics for your social media and blogging, your online engagements, you're not doing it right. You're not doing enough for your ministry. You're not doing enough for your business. You need to know how many people like your page. You need to know how much reach you have within your Twitter posts, your Google Plus accounts. You need to know how many people like it, reshare it, how many circles that influences, how the ripples look whenever things are advancing. If you're doing it really well, you probably have Google Analytics for your websites. You have SumAll as far as trying to engage how much is going on with social media across the board. And that is a great tool. It's a great setup for being able to know how things are going with social media and blogging online. Now, if that's all you're doing, again, you're not doing enough. The reality is I think that there's a lot of people out there that would say, let me show you how to get more likes. Let me show you how to post at the right time for social media. Let me show you that Google Plus is the best place to be able to reach as many people as you possibly want. Those are all good things, but I think that in my experience as far as looking online, that is so limiting as far as a brand, as far as an organization, a business, a blog, that not everything happens online. That's a great way to start the connection, but it needs to have leads that go somewhere. It needs to have some kind of outcome in the strategy of what you're working with. And so if you have a strategy that you know what your goals are, it probably leads to more than something that's happening online. For us, as far as Youth for Christ, we want to be able to get staff in the mission field to be able to share Jesus with teenagers. We want them to make an impact in their community with parents, with the school officials, and try to be able to be the best light for Christ that they can be. And so my job is to be able to empower them in that, to be able to find new people that come into this situation, to be able to share what Youth for Christ is doing across the nation, across the world. And really that goes beyond what's in the digital realm to something in the physical realm. And so for me, one of the most important things I learned about in this process was it doesn't take a very big social media strategy to make an impact that's very meaningful and deep. And so at this conference, one of the biggest things that we presented was the fact that we're restructuring to talk about global engagement for our Youth for Christ military and world outreach projects. There's a whole lot that goes with that, but basically we want to be able to invite people into our discussion of how can local ministries be able to work with international communities, and how can we find more people that might want to go serve in those international communities at the same time. So it's an engagement, it's a back and forth two-way conversation, a two-way street. And the actual particulars of what I am doing end up in that result, end up in that actual impact. And I could do a lot with social media, but at the same time, it's a tool that is supposed to be able to bring about this result, this change in what we're doing. And so to be able to couple the impact of what we're doing online as well as offline had such a huge ramification, such impact in what we were doing as far as the ministry goes. It made such a tidal wave that people grasped what was going on. So I want to share with you what we did. I would love to hear what you guys have to say on this topic as well. But for us, what we did was we wanted to get the name out there with Youth for Christ, let people know that we are actively trying to share what is going on with Youth for Christ. I shared one of my stories with people at Youth for Christ that I served in a local ministry, and before that I was a volunteer in that ministry, and before that I was a student in that ministry. I really didn't know what was going on outside of my town. I didn't realize there was something more than just campus life, that there was this Youth for Christ organization. And whenever I got into volunteering, I knew that there was something within my county, but I didn't know there was more than that. When I finally came on staff, I knew that there was this huge organization nationally. And then when I went to training, I actually got to experience that there's stuff going on internationally. And it's kind of sad that that's how it progressed, that I didn't just realize instantly there was more to it, that the literature, that the verbiage that we used was more of a global and worldwide concept. But the fact is that we needed to build that into our DNA. And so we started with this at this conference to be able to build that into the DNA of what's going on. This is going to be coupled with so many other practices and so many other initiatives that we're going to be putting out there to be able to grow up more leaders that recognize that there's a global approach to what we're doing with Youth for Christ. My approach online was to be able to connect people using a hashtag, to be able to connect them to specific Twitter and Facebook accounts. And also at the same time, we did a contest where we gave away 3 trips across the world to different missions trips to different missions areas so they could personally see what was going on. It was really cool to be able to see that, to be able to tie everything in together. And it's not going to stop here as far as our online campaign. But we did a couple different contests where they had to use a hashtag to promote it, and we selected a winner there. They also had to do a QR code where they scanned it, went on to our website, had to look at a blog article to get some of the information, answer a quick quiz. Great opportunity for them to be able to just experience what's going on with YFC and engagement, but at the same time to have that online approach as far as being able to recognize there's a whole family there that we can learn from, we can grow with. And then as we go on, whenever these people go and experience these ministries across the world, they're going to do a video diary. Then we need to share that. We need to make something of it, do some video editing, and share that on social media so more people can experience what's going on across the world and be able to see the global mission of Youth for Christ. So I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. What does it mean for you to have the digital impact the reality? The fact that we have more than just our online selves, but it's actually representation and an entire strategy of goals that go around trying to engage people online, try to do more for our ministry, our brand, our company, whatever it is. Let's hear what you guys have to say as far as that. Is it something that's hard to get to? Is it something you struggled with, or has it been an easy and natural position that maybe you could share some details with us? So leave your comments below, and we'll talk to you guys next week.